Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Reviews at the Wazoo. Today, topic of choice is a director. One of my favorite directors, actually, if not my favorite, Quentin Tarantino. In my opinion, he is a brilliant man. He's a brilliant director, and he makes brilliant films. His ideas are actually amazing, because a lot of them, some of them aren't really super complex. Like Reservoir Dogs was not super complex, but it was just a heist movie. Like, an idea in his head was a heist movie, but it turned out to be something amazing. And so we're just going to discuss him today, talk a little bit about him, talk why I like him, and see where it leads. So first off, I think he could be an idol, or someone that you would look up to, or somebody that is searching for a film career would look up to. Mostly because he grew up he was born in 1963, so he grew up during the 70s and 80s. Well, he just kind of grew up collecting and loving movies. He collected movies, he collected movie posters, and he was a collector of vinyl. So he loved music, he loved movies. I can relate to him because I like music, I like movies. So yeah, he actually owned a movie shop in, I think he said, New York City. Don't quote me on that, I can't really remember, but I'm pretty sure he said New York City. But it wasn't a really big store, but he really liked it. That was his creative idea. And he said in an interview, I recently watched an interview with him about Reservoir Dogs, and it's a very, very interesting interview. I will put the link in the description box below, so if you want to check that out, go check that out. So, it gives you a background of him and Reservoir Dogs. But anyways, he had this film shop, and what I found really cool is every weekend, I think he said, or so often, he would have his own film festival, and people would go, and he would recommend movies and sell movies and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of a cool background to him, and that he had ideas for movies and all this stuff, but he wasn't known by anybody. He had all these ideas in his head, but he wasn't known. So he got into the movie career, and when he made Reservoir Dogs, he was aiming towards a heist movie. He wanted something good because there hadn't been a heist movie in a long time. So he came up with the idea of Reservoir Dogs, and the film turned out to be absolutely brilliant. It wasn't a normal heist because everything that could go wrong went wrong. A lot of heist movies, they go in, they execute the plan, they get the money, and whoop-de-doo, that's it. Maybe they have a few complications on the way, but it always works, or usually. But in this case, it didn't work, and everybody ended up dead. It was like a brilliant idea and a brilliant ending to it. And his movies, if you haven't seen them before, they can be kind of confusing, just because they kind of skip a little bit from place to place. But that's his style, and I like his style. I'm just going to put it out there and say that you either love him or hate him, or maybe not. That's my opinion. I love him. For example, I know someone that doesn't like him. It's all personal preference and what you look for in a movie. He is known for violence and violent films, and that is his specialty. Some people may not like that. Some people may like, softer comedy, that kind of movie. But I really like his action movies, his violent movies. He uses a lot of blood, and some of his movies are very bloody and gory, but I like that. It's a good choice for his movie, and it fits well into the movie. It wouldn't be the same without it. So that's, his movies are awesome. So as I said, he was born in 1963. So he was growing up with amazing music, in my opinion. The 60s, the 70s, the 80s, those three generations produced amazing music. And in Reservoir Dogs, he actually goes along with, like, it's a very short time period, so he goes along with a 70s theme radio show, and they play a lot of 70s hits, and it's great songs. Great music choice, great soundtrack choice for the movie. So I've talked a lot about Reservoir Dogs in this video, so it's kind of reviewing Reservoir Dogs and talking about Quentin Tarantino at the same time. So I'm going to do that, and just to kill two birds with one stone, I've really already talked about Reservoir Dogs quite enough. Actually, if I had to give it a rating, I'd give it either an 8 or 9 out of 10, just because I like it so much. He's also written other brilliant films, such as Pulp Fiction, Inglourious Basterds, and Django Unchained. I haven't seen Django Unchained yet. I really want to. Inglourious Basterds, it was aimed towards comedy. It was aimed towards violent comedy, and I just found it quite boring. It's just me. That's the movie I found boring of his. That was pretty much the only one that I have seen of his that I found boring. But anyways, he also hires great actors to be in his movies. For example, Pulp Fiction had Samuel L. Jackson, John Travolta, and Bruce Willis. That's awesome. John Travolta back in his prime was an amazing actor. And Samuel L. Jackson, you can't say that you don't like Samuel L. Jackson. He's a great actor. And Bruce Willis, I mean, come on, Die Hard. It's Bruce Willis. But yeah, and the Reservoir Dogs cast was amazing too. I found I really liked them. So, Quentin Tarantino is definitely one of my favorite directors. Who I would recommend this for is an audience older or in their teens. I wouldn't let my kids watch it if I had kids and if I had kids under the age of 15. I wouldn't allow them to watch this because they're so bloody and gory, and the profanity. There's a lot of profanity, and it's not for kids' ears or eyes, in my opinion. Especially Pulp Fiction, that deals with very sensitive content. It deals with rape and murder and just a lot of crime, drugs, drug use. I mean, all of his movies pretty much deal with killing and sorry about that, guys. My camera actually died. But anyways, back onto the topic. Can't really remember what I was saying before, but I just thought of another point that I'd like to put in, is that in the interview that I watched, he dipped into his personal life. He said that what he does in his personal life. And it's nothing special, really. It's nothing fancy. He's just a genuine guy. He goes out to the movies. He goes to restaurants, and he travels. That's his life. I mean, he's nothing. He's not this big shot celebrity director that does all this fancy stuff. He's just a genuine guy, and he does what he wants and lives a normal life. I mean, yeah, sure, he's probably rich, but he uses that money the way he wants. He's not into cars, he said, and he's not into sports. He doesn't collect cars, so he probably spends all of his money, or most of his money, not all of it. He probably spends his money on movies and what he loves, which is kind of awesome to me, and I think he would be a really cool guy to meet, just to talk about his ideas, and I don't know, it'd just be awesome. So that completes our episode of Reviews at the Wazoo. I want to thank you guys for watching, and if you liked it, don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button. So, excuse me. So, see you guys.